Welcome, dear listener. Tonight, we'll journey softly through the rhythms of the past. A journey not of kings or great battles, but of warm soap bubbles and the hush of clean linens catching the wind. This is a story of early modern laundry, how centuries ago, long before the mechanical hum of washing machines, families cared for their clothes with hands, water, ash, and time. You may close your eyes if you wish. Let the calm details carry you. Let the slow rhythm of a quiet day from long ago guide you into restful sleep. Let's begin. It begins early, before the sun fully stretches across the landscape. In a small village nestled among gentle hills and cobblestone paths, the world is just waking. In a modest thatched cottage, a woman gently pushes open the wooden door. Her breath clouds in the crisp morning air. She wraps her shawl tighter around her shoulders and with a steady hand lifts a pair of wooden pails. The sound of her boots crunching against damp earth is muffled. Around her, the village is still. A dog barks distantly. Smoke curls quietly from a chimney. Chickens shift in their roosts. She walks toward the stream, her fingers tightening slightly on the pail handles. Water is essential. Not just a few cups of it, but gallons. Enough to soak, scrub, rinse, and finish. Enough to wash clothes for a family of 5. Many homes in the early modern era, especially in rural Europe, did not have ready access to water within the home. Instead, villagers fetched water from communal wells, nearby rivers or cisterns. Some had rain barrels, though those were never quite enough on their own. The woman reaches the stream. It gurgles softly, weaving its way between stones polished smooth by time. She kneels slowly, placing the pails beside her. With cupped hands, she tests the temperature. Icy. Still, she begins. First one pail, then another. She waits patiently as they fill, watching the water swirl and bubble. She listens to the gentle splashes, the sigh of wind moving through grass. With the pails full, she rises. They are heavy now, sloshing gently as she carries them back toward home. Her back is straight, her pace slow. These trips might need repeating 2 or 3 times, depending on the size of the laundry. The sun creeps higher. Light filters through the trees, dappling the path. She returns home where steam already rises from a large iron kettle placed over the hearth. The fire crackles softly. This water, still cold, will be poured into basins. More water will be heated. The day's task begins not with soap or cloth, but with water, the foundation of it all. It's a quiet ritual, one repeated for generations. And so, the first step of laundry day comes to an end. Let's turn now to soap. In the early modern household, soap wasn't something that came in brightly colored bars, purchased from a shop. It was made at home, crafted with care, patience, and simple ingredients. Soap, in its most basic form, requires fat and lye. Lye, in turn, comes from ashes. Picture a woman at the hearth, sweeping fine gray ash from the bottom of the fireplace. The fire has burned down to embers. The ash is sifted, carefully separating out any charcoal or debris. This soft, powdery substance will be leached to create the base for lye. She sets a large wooden barrel upright. In its base, she layers a bit of straw and places small holes to allow drainage. The ash goes in next, packed down softly. Then, She pours in water, slowly, steadily. The water seeps down through the ash, becoming saturated with potash. What drips from the bottom is a brownish liquid, lye water. Meanwhile, a small pot of animal fat, often saved from cooking, is set on the hearth to melt. Beef tallow, mutton fat, or even pig lard. The scent is mild and earthy. Once warm, she slowly adds the lye water, stirring in one direction. The two begin to react. It takes time. The mixture thickens, bubbles lazily. Sometimes herbs are added, lavender, marjoram, rosemary, to lend a more pleasant scent. Other times, the soap is left plain. Once cooled and thickened, it's poured into shallow trays. There, it hardens. After a day or two, the soap is cut into blocks, then set aside to cure. The curing process can take weeks, sometimes longer. By the time laundry day arrives, several bars have been stacked neatly in a basket. They're pale, dense, and faintly scented with smoke. Unlike modern soaps, these bars don't lather much. Instead, they work by binding to dirt and grease, making it easier to scrub them away. She selects a bar, wraps it in cloth, and crushes it slightly with a wooden mallet to soften it. Then she sets it aside, near the steaming kettle, ready for use. Soap making wasn't just a chore. It was a seasonal rhythm, often done during winter months when days were shorter and other tasks fewer. Even children helped. Stirring, pouring, cutting. It was a knowledge passed from mother to daughter, aunt to niece, a quiet legacy of care. And so, before any washing begins, the tools are prepared. Water is hot, soap is ready. Basins are lined in a row. The labor to create these simple materials is finished, and the next phase begins. The heart of laundry day now begins. The slow, steady rhythm of movement. Water, soap, and hands. This part of the work was physical, repetitive, and oddly meditative. Imagine the woman bending over a wooden basin. Steam rises in soft clouds. She reaches for a garment, perhaps a linen smock or woolen stocking. It is soiled, worn, and bears the scent of use. It has been lived in, carries the imprint of a life. She dips the garment into hot water, watching as it darkens with moisture. Then, with her bar of soap wrapped in cloth, she rubs the fabric back and forth. Her knuckles redden from the heat. Her motions are slow but sure. Soak, rub, soak again. For heavier dirt, she uses a washing bat. A simple wooden paddle, flat and smooth, used to beat the fabric against a stone or board. The sound is soft but rhythmic. Thud, slap, slap. Not violent, just firm enough to loosen the grime. This beating method was common in places without boards or scrubbers. At the riverbank, women would kneel on smooth stones, folding garments and striking them methodically. Not unlike a musical tempo, each woman creating her own pace. Children might join, handing her new garments, wringing out socks, or brushing away stray leaves. The day is long, but in its own way, it is peaceful. There is conversation, but it is quiet. More often, there is only the sound of splashing water, gentle tapping, and the occasional bird song overhead. Some households owned washboards, corrugated wooden or metal slabs fixed into a frame. Soap would be rubbed into the fabric, then the cloth scrubbed along the ridges. The motion works dirt-free, especially from collars, cuffs, and hems. Hands moved steadily, often for hours. The repetitive gestures became almost meditative. Dip, scrub, beat, rinse, repeat. There was no rushing. The work would take as long as it needed. Stains required special attention. Ash paste might be used for grease. Sour milk could lift wine or berry marks. For wool, which could not tolerate hot water, lukewarm basins were prepared, and handling was gentler. Despite its labor, this stage of laundry was also deeply tactile. The wet fabric between fingers, the scent of wood smoke soap, the echo of water against basin. Sometimes during warmer seasons, the laundry was done outside, under the sky. The sun helped brighten white linens, grass underfoot, a breeze at the neck, and the constant hush of nature surrounding the worker. At the end of each wash cycle, the garment is wrung by hand. This too is a practiced skill. She twists the fabric, careful not to overstress seams, and lifts it free from the water. Drops fall like tiny bells. Then into the rinse basin it goes, ready for the next phase. And so, garment by garment, basin by basin, the laundry slowly transforms. The labor is constant but soothing. Each piece cared for with simple tools, strong hands, and unwavering patience. The day stretches on, but something beautiful is happening, hidden in the folds of cloth. Work, yes, but also peace. Once the washing is done, each garment soaked, scrubbed, and wrung, the next step awaits, rinsing. In a separate basin, filled with fresh water, often cooler, sometimes from a second trip to the stream, the woman gently lowers the garment. She watches it sink, the bubbles of soap rising to the surface and popping with tiny sighs. The fabric swirls gently in the water. Rinsing is more than a technical necessity. It is a cleansing, a quiet undoing of all the motion and energy of scrubbing. A moment to pause. With both hands, she lifts and dips, lifts and dips. She presses the fabric slowly between her palms, not wringing yet, but urging the soap out. The water clouds, tinged gray with the remains of ash, oil, and earth. She may rinse each piece twice, sometimes even 3 times. The goal is clarity, not only in water, but in cloth. Only when the rinse water runs clear is the garment truly clean. The rhythm is slower now, less forceful. It's a return to stillness. As she rinses, she may inspect each garment under light, holding up a shirt to the window, watching it glow softly with the morning sun. She looks for stains that may linger, mending that might be needed. The laundry tells stories. Mud at the hem from a rainy day, worn elbows from garden work, a child's shirt with berry juice along the collar. When the rinse is complete, the garment is lifted one last time. It is gently twisted, not too tightly, to release excess water. Then, it is folded loosely and placed in a wide wicker basket. Now comes drying. In summer months, the linens are taken outside. Across the grass behind the cottage, wooden poles and hemp ropes are stretched in lines. The woman walks slowly, her basket on her hip, cloth flapping gently against her side. One by one, she pins the garments to the line with wooden pegs. The breeze moves through the fabric like breath. Cotton shifts like sails. Linen stiffens as the sun touches it. If rain threatens, lines may be strung under the eaves or in the loft of a barn. In colder months, drying happens indoors, garments draped over wooden racks near the hearth. rotated carefully to avoid too much smoke. The scent of clean laundry drying is soft and satisfying, a mix of sun, wind, and soap. There is no artificial fragrance, only the scent of the earth, of firewood, of lye, and of time. Children may run between the lines, weaving through sheets like ghosts. Dogs nap beneath the fluttering hems. The woman returns to the cottage to prepare a simple midday meal, porridge perhaps, or bread and cheese, while the wind continues her work. Drying takes time, especially for thick fabrics. She checks often, lifting corners, pressing her hand against the weave. When fully dry, each piece crackles slightly in her hands. The sheets come down first, folded along their length. Then the towels, the aprons, the shirts. Each item is gathered back into the basket, now lighter, warmer, full of sun. The work is almost done. Not just the labor of the body, but of care, of renewal. The final step awaits. The final act of laundry day is not the most strenuous, nor the most time-consuming, but it may be the most meaningful. Folding is an act of conclusion, a gesture of care, a soft drawing together of all that has been done. Inside the cottage, the laundry basket now rests beside a large wooden table. The hearth still glows with gentle embers, casting flickering shadows on the floor. Outside, the sun has passed its peak. The day leans into stillness. The woman begins with the largest items, sheets and linens. She spreads one across the table, smoothing it gently with her palms. The cloth is crisp and dry and carries a faint warmth from the sun. She folds it slowly, first in half, then again. She presses the edges with her hand, ensuring clean lines. There is no rush. Each fold is a small meditation, a quiet motion repeated with intention. Next, she turns to shirts and underthings. These are lighter, easier to manage. She checks each one for missed threads or small tears. If a seam is loose or a button missing, she sets it aside. It will be mended later, perhaps by firelight. The towels are stacked with care. Rough homespun cloth that has dried countless hands, countless dishes. Each one folded into thirds, then again into a neat square. They are placed on a shelf where little else sits. There is a rhythm to the folding, a private language in cloth and movement. The creak of the table, the soft flap of linen, the occasional clink of a hairpin or button lost in the wash, and now found again. This is not merely tidying, it is restoration. A way to bring order to the week, to close the circle begun with the gathering of water at dawn. Once all is folded, the woman stacks the garments in baskets or chests. Some will go upstairs to the sleeping loft. Others remain near the hearth or are tucked behind cupboard doors. The smell of fresh laundry lingers in the air, a mixture of soap, wood smoke, and open sky. She straightens the room, wipes the table, empties the basins. The water poured outside nourishes the plants. Ashes go back to the garden. She might sit down then at last, with a mug of warm drink. Her hands rest in her lap, tired but content. The room around her is quiet. The air is calm. Laundry day has passed. Not a grand affair, not something to be recorded in ledgers or songs. And yet, it is meaningful. This work, repeated week by week, season by season, is a thread running through generations. pattern of care, of patience, of quiet love, folded and set aside until next it is needed. In this moment, as the day draws to a close, she reflects, not in words but in feeling, a softness, a stillness. And so, the final garment rests in its place. The basket is empty. The house is at peace. Tomorrow will bring new tasks, but tonight, the laundry is done. And now, dear listener, the day draws to a close, not only for our washerwoman, but for us as well. The fire dims in the hearth. Embers glow softly, casting a warm, flickering light on the worn floorboards and the woven basket now resting, empty and content. Outside, the evening air has cooled. A hush has settled over the fields and fences, over the hedges and paths. The chickens have roosted. The tools are stored. The village is quiet once more. Inside the cottage, she draws the curtain. A cat curls up on the windowsill. Somewhere, a kettle simmers. The scent of drying herbs and ash soap lingers faintly in the corners of the room. She moves gently through her home. The pace of the day has slowed. Her arms are tired, but her heart is light. The laundry is done. The cycle of care complete. And as you listen, your breath slowing with the rhythm of her steps, you may feel yourself sinking a little deeper into rest. Perhaps you imagine yourself there, in that warm, small cottage at the edge of the woods, wrapped in a clean sheet, listening to the quiet creak of the old beams overhead, feeling the warmth of the hearth on your skin. You are safe. You are still. Let the simple motions of the day remain with you, the steady steps to the stream, the careful stirring of soap, the gentle slap of wet cloth, the flapping of linen on the line, the final fold of a clean towel. These were the rhythms of a life not hurried, but steady. A life woven with hands, season by season, into something deeply human. Now allow yourself to drift. There is nothing more you need to do. Let the quiet carry you. Let the past cradle you. And let sleep come, soft and slow, like sun-warmed linen falling from the line. Good night.